Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a quick full body workout on my reformer. We're going to start with 3 medium springs. On my machine, I'm using 2 reds and 1 yellow. You can also do a red, a green, and a yellow. Just kind of experiment and see which level you would like to go with for your footwork. So let's go ahead and lay down on our back. And I'm going to lift my headrest up 1 or 2 notches for this. And I'm going to start with my feet on the foot bar in Pilates V position. So with my heels together and toes apart, feet flexed up to the ceiling. And I'm just going to press in and out here. I'm going to be here for 4, 3, 2 more. And then on 1, I'm going to come in halfway and I'm going to do some little pulses, pressing in and out just 1 inch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to press all the way out to a full extension, and then I'm going to come all the way back in, where I'm going to slide down to my arches, and I'm going to squeeze my inner thighs together, squeeze my legs together like I have 1 foot on the foot bar, and I'm going to press in and out here through the arches now. For 3, 2. On the next one, we're going to come in for those little pulses again. So we're going to press in and out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, a full extension, and then you're going to bend and come all the way into close. Then we're going to slide down to your toes. With your toes on, you're going to have the toes and the balls of your feet slightly on the bar. You're going to lift your heels up high as you press in and out. And we're going to keep the heels lifted for the entire time. Perfect. On the next one, we're going to come in halfway and we're going to do those last pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to press all the way out, holding the legs extended. I'm just going to go into my tendon stretch, letting the heels kind of just fall under the foot bar, and then I'm going to lift. So you let your heels stick under, and then you lift. 1 more. Then I'm going to lift. I'm going to bend my left knee so just my right heel can sink under that bar. And switch. Good. We're going to do that 1 more time on each side. Then we're going to go into a prance. Right, left, right, left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift, and then you're just going to bend, come all the way in. Or you can either take your legs over the foot bar, give yourself a little calf massage, or we can go into a spine twist in both directions. And then let's come back to the center. You're going to take your headrest down all the way to the flattest position. I'm just going to scoot away from my shoulder blocks about 1 inch or 2. And then I'm going to bring my heels back onto the bar, but this time I'm going to point the toes forward. And we're going to go into our articulating bridge here. So you're going to start with those hip bones, squeeze them towards that bottom rib to press your low back into your carriage. And then from here, we're going to start to lift the tailbone, low back, middle back, upper back. You're going to come all the way up into your high bridge, taking in another breath, and then we're going to melt the spine down in reverse. And you almost want to think about pulling your heels in towards your glutes if your carriage is starting to slip away. So engaging the hamstrings a little bit more to keep that carriage pulled in and springs closed. So depending on how heavy you went during your footwork, that may be more or less challenging for you. And then let's go for one more. Melting down the spine in reverse. Perfect. Let's add on to that a little bit. So we're going to go into that bridge again, imprinting the spine first. You're going to start to scoop yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Once you reach the top, we're going to float the arms up to the ceiling. You're going to keep your hips lifted here in this bridge, and we're just going to lower and lift the arms. Good. Let's be here for 3. 2 more. Last one. Lower the arms down, and then we're just going to bring that spine down one vertebrae at a time. Perfect. So that was your articulating bridge. Let's move into a hinge bridge. So for that hinge bridge, we're just going to lift the hips straight up to the ceiling with a flat back. So we're going to take an inhale. When we exhale, we lift the hips up. Inhale down. So you can see it's just one flat back motion. And rather than just shooting the hips up to the ceiling, I'm actually lifting them up nice and controlled for 3. 2 more. Last one. Perfect. We'll come all the way down. Take a little break. We're going to do one last set of bridges here, but we're going to add in a little bit of a variation. So the first thing we're going to do is come up into that high bridge, hold it. Again, you're going to float the arms up to the ceiling. This time we're going to turn the palms towards one another. We're going to open them out to a large V, bring them back together, and we're keeping the hips lifted as we do this. For 3, 2, last one. And then let's bring our hips all the way down. Once they're all the way down, you can lower your arms. We're going to go into a little stretch. I'm just going to cross my right ankle over my left thigh and then pull in for that figure 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch. Left ankle over my right thigh. And we'll pull in here. Perfect. And then let's go ahead and round up or teaser up to seated. We're going to change our spring settings a little bit. So we're going to lighten up. We're going to go to 2 moderate springs. So on my machine, I'm doing a red and a yellow, pretty light, because we're going to be doing some arms supine, so laying on your back. So you can go ahead and pick 2 light springs. And then we're going to come down to our back. And then once you're here, you're just going to reach back, and grab your short loops. So you're going to use the short loops for your arms supine. And I like to start off with my shoulders, maybe an inch or 2 away from the shoulder blocks. So go ahead and grab your loops. We're going to bring our legs into tabletop with the knees right over the hips and then the knee and ankle in line. You can also cross the ankles here during this exercise, reaching the arms up to the ceiling with your fingertips free and not gripped tightly around your loops. We'll take an inhale to prepare. As you exhale, you're going to press down to the carriage. And we want to try to imprint that spine here. So we're pressing down, inhale up, not allowing the wrists to go past the shoulders. Just starting to warm up a little bit for your last 2 here. On the next one, let's go ahead and hold the arms down. Curl your head, neck, and chest up. We're going to go into our double leg stretch. Stretch, draw in, stretch, draw in for 3, 2, last one. Perfect. Go ahead and reach the arms up to the ceiling. Let your head, neck, and chest relax. You can bring your feet to the foot bar. We're just going to let the arms float out to that T position. And then let's go into that T press. So we're going to bring our legs into that tabletop position, and we'll start to press into the hips from your T. Again, we want to keep that spine imprinted into the mat as you press and open. 2 more. On the next one, we're going to press into the hips. Hold it here. You can curl the head, neck, and chest up. We're going to go into our single leg stretch. Right and left. Right and left for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Knees come into table. We'll open the arms out to a T. Rest your feet on the foot bar. Relax here for a second. And then let's go into our tricep press. So for tricep press, we're going to bring the arms all the way down to the mat. Bend your elbows and then press your palms back down. A little extra challenge, you can float the elbows off of the carriage. For 3, 2, last one. Let's press down to the mat. Reach both toes up to the ceiling. You can curl your head, neck, and chest up. We're going to go into our scissor. For 4, 3, 2, last one. Perfect. Go ahead and relax all the way down. Once you're all the way down, go ahead and hook your long loops on to your pegs. So those are out of the way. And then we're going to come up to seated. And we're going to go down to, let's do 1 medium spring. That should be good. You're going to have your headrest all the way flat. And you can have your legs go through the shoulder blocks. You can also crisscross one leg over the other if that's a little more comfortable. And we want to have at least about a palm's distance of space behind us. And then I'm going to bring my grip up a little bit higher to the tape that's attached to my rope. So a little bit higher than the hardware. I'm just going to hold on to it there. Allow the ropes to pull me forward so I'm sitting up nice and tall. And then we're going to do some rolling back here. So we're going to start with that same pelvic tilt like we did in our bridging. From here, we're going to start to round the spine back 1 vertebrae at a time. We're not going to round all the way down and back, just to about 3/4 of the way. And then I'm going to lead with my forehead, rounding back up to seated, lift the chest back up to my extended spine. Again, rounding in the pelvis, start to round back, leading with my forehead, rounding back up to seated. Perfect. Let's do 2 more. And then rounding back up to seated. Last one here for our rollbacks. And then we're going to round all the way up. Take a breath here. We're going to add on to it a little bit. So let's go ahead and sit up a little bit taller. We're going to start with that pelvic tilt, rounding back just halfway and holding it here. From here, we're going to pull our loops apart with straight arms. You don't have to pull all the way apart. You can just open to a little bit wider than the shoulders. But the key here is to hold that C curve of your spine for your last 3 and 2. 1 more here. Close the arms. We're going to round all the way up and over this time. Give ourselves a nice long stretch. And then let's reset the spine. Coming back up to seated, we're going to add some rotation. So we'll start here by rounding back. Hold that C curve of your spine. Your right arm is going to stay extended. We're going to pull into that left loop, rotation to the left. Coming back to the center, left arm stays extended, rotation to the right. Good. Let's be here for 6 and 5. We've got 4, holding that C, 3, 2 more, and last one. Perfect. Let's round all the way up to seated, where we'll go ahead and hook up your long loop onto the peg. And then we're going to turn to facing forward here, where we're going to bring our right shin into your headrest, or excuse me, into your shoulder blocks. And then your hand that's closest to the foot bar is going to rest on the foot bar. We're going to adjust our springs to one slightly, we'll say one lighter spring. So on my machine, I'm using 1 green. My hand is on the foot bar, slightly ahead of my shoulder. My right hand is out to a T, and then my front leg is flexed on the carriage. We're going to press away from the foot bar, reaching up and over for a lateral bend. And then we'll open to a T. Perfect. Reaching up and over, lateral bend, and open. On the next one, let's reach up and over for our lateral bend. Rotate the chest, bringing both hands onto the foot bar. We're going to lower the head and chest down for our stretch. And then through straight arms, you're going to lift the head and chest. Keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. And lift. Here we'll take our right hand off of the foot bar, bring the carriage to a close, and then we'll reach up and over in the other direction. Perfect. Come back to center. Before we go into the other side, let's turn to face towards our foot bar, and we're going to sit crisscross here. We're going to do some arms here. We're going to grab our short loops behind. We can stay on that one semi-light medium spring, and we're going to bring our elbows into our ribs, sitting up a little bit taller. Fingertips are going to be extended towards the foot bar. Shoulders are going to be down and relaxed from your ears, and then we're just going to press to an extension. Exhale to extend. Inhale, draw back in. The progression here would be to come up to high kneeling, if that's comfortable for you, or low kneeling is also an option. Let's start to add on a little bit. We're going to press, open, close, bend the elbows. Press, open, close, bend the elbows. Good. Last 2. And we're here for one more. Bend your elbows and relax here for a second. Very good. Let's go into our hug a tree. So we'll open the arms. We're going to have a soft bend in our elbows, soft bend in our wrists. And then we're just going to draw our fingertips together and open, keeping the shoulders down from your ears as you open and close. Let's do 5 more here. Last 3. 2 more. And last one. Good. Go ahead and relax your arms here. We're going to do 2 more exercises here with this arm sequence. So we're going to take a small hinge forward. Bring your arms up to about shoulder height, but your palms are going to be rotated slightly down towards the floor, but your fingertips will be pointing up at a diagonal. And then we're going to press up overhead, Draw the elbows back down. Perfect. Let's be here for 3, 2. On the next one, we're going to go right into our next exercise. We're going to bring the fingertips together overhead, bend the elbows, and we're here for a tricep press. Good. We've got 5, 4, last 3, 2, and last 1. Perfect. Open the arms. Allow the loops to pull your arms back for that stretch. And then we'll come back up, hooking the long loop back onto the peg. Let's turn the other direction for our mermaid here. So from here, we're just going to come into that Z sit again. And we're going to bring our right hand onto the footbar this time, left arm out to a T. We'll press up and over for that mermaid. Again, reaching up and over. On the next one, let's start to add that spine extension. So we'll reach up and over, rotate the chest. Both hands will come onto the footbar. We're going to lower the head and chest down. And then lifting the head and chest through straight arms, keeping the shoulders down and back. Lifting the head and chest. We'll take the left arm up and over, reach up and over for our lateral bend. And then come back up to center. Let's finish up here with some feet in straps. So for our feet in straps, we are going to add another spring. So I have 2 springs on. And then we're going to reach back, grab our long loop this time, and we'll place our long loops on our feet. Legs will come up to the ceiling. Tailbone will stay anchored down. We're just going to lower and lift. Let's be here for 2. Last one. We're going to reach the legs up to the ceiling. Bring your heels together and toes apart. And we're going to lower and lift in this Pilates V position. Let's start to add on a little bit. So we're going to lower down first, open the heels apart, bring them back together, and then lift back up to the ceiling. So adding a little bit of coordination. Lower, open, close, and lift. 2 more. Lower, open, close, and lift. Last one. Lower, open, close, and lift. Good. Bend your knees into tabletop. We're going to go into our frog. Press and bend. We're going to add that coordination in there. So press, open, close, bend, press, open, close, bend. Last one. Press, open, close, bend, and then we're going to sweep the legs up to the ceiling. Let's finish up with some circles. We'll do 6 in this direction. nice circles. Last one in this direction, and then we're going to reverse those circles. Last one. And then let's bring our legs up to the ceiling. Give your ropes a little pull for your stretch. And then just allow the legs to fall apart. Little rock side to side. You can bend the knees. Little happy baby. And we're just going to bring the soles of the feet together. Start to lower the feet down. Take a breath here. Last deep breath. And then you can start to take your feet out of your loops. We'll hook those up. And then let's come up to seated for some final stretching here. So we will add on another spring so you're nice and stable and your machine isn't bouncing around too much. We're going to sit back a little bit so our arms can be lengthened, straddling your machine. And then you're just going to round and curve your spine. Coming back up to center, take your left hand out. We're going to reach up and over for a lateral bend. Open to a T. Take your left hand back. Give yourself a little twist. And then we'll come back to the center. Let's do the same on the other side. Reach up and over, lateral bend. Opening to a T. Take your hand back, a little twist. And then we'll reach both arms up, taking the arms back for an extension. And then we'll bring our arms down. And you are all done with this full body reformer workout. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.